Information overflow, if at all the sender is going on saying the heavy load of the information, but the receiver cannot receive it properly as it is the overload of communication, then it acts as a physical barrier as the information is overflowed. And next, noises causes which acts as the physical barriers, and there are three types of noises: physical noise, written noise, and technological noises. Physical noises, they are the outside disturbances and they are caused in face-to-face communication, mostly caused in face-to-face communications. And next, written communication. Written communication, what? In written communication there is a noise, we may get the doubt, but in written noise is caused, and that is due to the bad handwriting, or if the handwriting is not good, and if at all bad typing is there, then it is caused as it acts as the physical barrier as written noise. Next, technological noise. If at all we are using phones or other gadgets, then if at all the sound is off and cannot hear properly and we cannot get them and understand them, so it acts as the physical barrier in the technological noise. And next, coming to third one, environment. Environmental conditions such as thunder, rain, wind, etc. causes as the physical barrier, because the sounds created by them or the noise created by them interrupts the communication, and it will change our mood and cannot concentrate on the sender and cannot listen to the sender carefully, so it acts as a physical barrier. And next, unstable temperature. If at all our body temperature is unstable, if at all temperature is low or high, then we can't focus on the subject, or we cannot focus on our communication, and we cannot send or receive the information correctly, and it changes the meanings, and also misinterpretation causes and misunderstanding causes. This is unstable temperature. And next, due to the lack of aeration and light, it is, if at all there is no proper ventilation and no proper light, then the physical barrier occurs through lack of aeration and lights. Next, time and distance. There should be a correct time and distance for the communication. If at all the time is not selected is not correct, then it will not be so much effective, so it should be in the time. And next, and medium disturbances and technical problems. Medium disturbance, the medium which is used to transfer the information from the sender to the receiver, if at all is problem created with that medium, then it is called as medium disturbance. And technical problems such as computer virus, crash, and no internet connections or no loose internet connections, network connections, these are the issues or technical problems which are caused during the communication. And next, eighth one is workspace design. This is important, and if at all generally we see the offices, the office is far away from our home, so that it is very difficult to talk directly with the working staff, etc. So we can't make the communication effectively, as we have to text them or we have to mail them, and it may be late to get the reply. So in order, the workspace design causes the physical barriers. This is about the physical barriers. And the side headings to remember here is information overflow, second one is noise, third one is environment, fourth one is unstable temperature, fifth one is lack of aeration and light, sixth one is time and distance, seventh one is medium disturbance and technical problem, eighth one is workspace design. These are the 8 to remember, side headings to remember. If at all you remember them, you can elaborate them in the exam so that you can gain the marks good. And next, coming to the cultural barriers, these are the barriers which are caused due to the different cultures in different localities. And the first one in the cultural barriers is language. The language is different from region to region. So if at all we talk one region language in another region, then it causes a problem and the communication does not exist there, and we can't understand, and misunderstanding may be occur, and it will be a big fault. So language is a cultural barrier which makes communication ineffective. Second one is signs, symbols, etc. The nonverbal communication are signs and symbols. Signs and symbols are also different according to the cultural, according to some regions of the cultures. For example, thumbs up is a sign of approval and wishing good luck in most of the cultures, but it is taken as an insult in Bangladesh. So signs and symbols are also different according to the cultures of different regions. So the cultural barrier occurs. And next, third one is stereotypes and prejudice. Stereotypes means creating a picture of the whole culture. An example, Asia students are stereotyped to be good at maths, which is a positive point, but there is stereotype of people following a religion like Islam as being violent, and this is a negative impact. And stereotypes create the prejudice as it provokes a judgmental attitude. Prejudice are the one who will judge the people before knowing about them. They are prejudice, and stereotypes creates a prejudice as it provokes the judgmental attitudes. People look at those culture as an evil and treat the people very weakly. This is. And next, coming to fourth, is behavior and beliefs. Behavior and beliefs of different cultures are different, so the communication of depends upon also the behavior and beliefs. Cultural differences between the behavior and personality differences like body languages, thinking and manners, etc., which leads the communication. Example, in some cultures eye contact is important, whereas in some cultures it is treated as a rude and disrespectful. So behavior and beliefs are also different compared to the different cultural regions. And next, beliefs example is mostly people who believe in God can cope with their loss of life easily than atheists, but atheists are the most hardworking at all the time. So these are the behavior and beliefs which are the cultural barriers, which acts as the cultural barriers. Next one is ethnocentrism. This is the main one, and this is a process of dividing cultures as us and them. The people of someone's own culture are categorized as the in-group and other culture as out-group. This always gives preferences. They always give the preferences to the in-group people, but there is an illusion of out-group as an evil. They will treat the out-group as an evil and don't give the chances, and it is the most negative communication, and it is negative point. This is ethnocentrism. And next, sixth one, religion. It is similar to ethnocentrism and stereotypes. Example is in Pakistan, the Christians have to speak up for their rights as majority of Islam, and Christians are discriminated and there are lack of communication between them due to these reasons. So religion acts as the cultural barrier. And in this, the side headings which are to remember are 6. First one is language, second one is signs and symbols, third one is stereotypes, fourth one is behavior and beliefs, fifth one is ethnocentrism, sixth one is religion. And next coming to the interpersonal communication. Many workplaces strive to create a strong teamwork to improve the productivity and foster a more enjoyable environment. The interpersonal communication which are caused are, first one is walls and doors. Physical barriers as high visible walls and closed offices doors can hinder the effective communication in workspaces, as they cannot make workers seen, less accessible to each other, so they cannot make the communication effectively and togetherly. So walls and doors are the acts as interpersonal communications. And next, cultural and language differences, and they are the offices in which there are different cultures and languages, and each of them are different in them, and each cannot understand, and may occur misunderstandings and misinterpretations, so that they may think in the other manner and maybe misunderstands, so it acts as an barrier. And next, gender issues. This is a common one in the offices. In most, the females are discouraged and are not getting the chances to give their ideas as compared to men. Men's ideas are only taken, and females are dominated by men's. This is the gender issues and causes the communication barrier. And fourth one is competition. The high competition work environment. Due to the high competition work of the environment, workers may be more concerned with their own career advancement that help of committing effectively and distrust. These are the 4 types of interpersonal communication. This is very easy, and the side headings to remember is first one walls and doors, second one is cultural and language differences, and third one is gender issues, fourth one is competition. These are the 4, and if at all you understand this, you can elaborate it on your own, and you can write it or present it in your examination. Next, coming to intrapersonal communication. Generally, intrapersonal communication, it means it is happening within the individual mind, but whereas interpersonal is happening with a group or group of people. We are discussing about intrapersonal now. Intrapersonal, this happen within the individual minds. So the individual minds are ourselves thinks negatively about us, and makes the disturbances in the communication. So in the first one is fear of failure. We will fear a lot before giving a try. We will fear of failure, so we should overcome, and overcoming is better than anything that would happen to you if you fail. And next, second one is time management. Time management is very important. If at all, every second is important and every minute is important, so managing time is very important and in the communication. And next, energy, lack of energy. Lack of energy is caused due to lack of exercises, maybe being overweight, and due to the health problems such as depression. Will they make you feel tired and feels like lack of energy and can't communicate properly. So proper exercising should be done and loss of the weight should be done, so that the energy level used is less. To save the energy, for example, daily at the same time you are doing 30 minutes of exercise. So in place of doing 30 minutes continuously, if at all, if you divide it to 3 to 4 parts in daily, so you can do extra 10 minutes of workout daily. This is an example. And next, resources. The lack of family support, or due to the lack of money, or due to lack of education, and due to lack of experience, it prevents us or you from doing something that you really want to do, and you may feel that thought before you have ever begun reaching your goals. Behalf of doing that, you have to use an alternate resources, look for an alternate resources. And next, fifth one is attitude. Attitude means the people who are having closed mind and they never want to share anything with others, such that they are very selfish and they show the attitude. It is a very bad habit. Attitude also causes the barriers in the communication. And next, not listening. This is the most important thing most of the students does not do, and listening is the most important thing. If not listened, we can't understand what the sender is saying, so we misunderstand the communication. And next, high emotions. If at all we can't control the emotions, then the communication will not be effective, not clearly. So the high emotions should be reduced. These are the intrapersonal communication. And the side headings to remember is: first one is fear, second one is time, third one is energy, fourth one is resources, fifth one is attitude, sixth one is not listening, seventh one is high emotions. These are the 7 in intrapersonal communication. Next, coming to psychological barriers. It depends on the mentality and the personality of the human being. In this, the first psychological barrier is lack of attention. Lack of attention means we are not paying attention to the sender, so that we can't hear him. If at all we are thinking in the other manner, or we are dreaming in the other world, then we can't understand what the sender is saying. So it acts as a psychological barrier. Second one is poor retention. The capacity of memory of brain is less, so that we can't remember or we can't understand what the sender is going on saying. If the sender gives more and more information, or this is also caused if at all the sender is saying overflow of the communication. Third one is distrust. If at all we don't trust anyone, then if they give a good suggestion also, it feels like a negative meaning or the negative message for us. So distrust also acts as a psychological barrier. And next, perception and viewpoint and opinion. The opinion of different person is different, so they plays a major role in the psychological barrier. And next, coming fifth one is emotions. Bad moments. If at all in the bad moments they talk less or they may talk negatively, that is the imbalance of the emotions. So we have to control the emotions to make the communication effective. If at all any bad moments occur, we should talk politely and strongly and positively. You should not be negative. And next, sixth one is close-minded or filter. They are known as selfish people or the attitude people, and they don't share anything with anyone. They themselves be in a place and they don't want to take information or know the knowledge, and this is about closed mind and filtering. Next, premature elevation. Hurry. You should not be hurry. You should think first of all. Without thinking, if we start the communication, then it will not be effective, as we don't know what we are talking about. So hurry is not important. The ideation is important to make the communication effective. Next, rigidity. The meaning is attached to various words and expressing vary from part to part. And next, extreme opinion. By depending on if a for example, if a person is good at maths, we should not judge him that he is a topper, because he may be poor in other subjects except the maths. So we should never judge or never keep an extreme opinion on anyone, as it may be wrong and makes the wrong guessing. These are the psychological barriers, and once again we repeat the side headings. First one is lack of attention, second one is poor attention, third one is distrust, fourth one is perception, viewpoint, fifth one is emotions, sixth one is close-minded people, seventh one is premature evaluation, eighth one is rigidity, and ninth one is extreme opinion. If at all, if you understand this, you can elaborate and write in the examination or present in the examination well. And next, coming to the emotional barriers. Emotional barriers, you all also know what is emotional barriers. These are the barriers which are caused due to the emotions, over emotions. In this, for the first one is anger. During the anger, we shout loud, or we talk negatively, or we talk badly towards other people. So if at all we talk like that, it may be the message can be transferred differently. Even in anger makes the good words into bad words, so it gives the wrong meanings. So anger should be not there. And next, depression. If at all we are if at all the sender or receiver in depression, if at all if sender is depression, then he can't give the information correctly, or if at all if the receiver is not correct and he is in depression, he can't receive it properly, and also have the chances to misunderstand it. And next, third one is pride. Pride is a proudness, and it acts as the emotional barrier in the emotional barrier. And next, anxiousness. Anxiousness and anxiety to say or to communicate. If at all anxiousness is more, then we may forget, or we may make mistakes in the ideation or thought. So these are the emotional barriers which are caused in the communication. And next, how to make communication effective. This is the most important question, and this is about the how to make the communication effective. First one is self-awareness. We should know about ourselves first of all. If we know about ourselves, then we can know that what we can do and what we cannot do. So we should first do self-awareness. This is the first thing. And second one is express yourself clearly. Anything about us should be explained very clearly, so that the others knows what we are. Next, active listener. We should be the active listener and pay attention towards the sender or the one who sends the messages. So active listener is most important. And next, be positive. We should be positive and never think about the negative. If at all you don't know anything, or if at all you think that you can't achieve, you think that you can achieve and try until you get success. And next, be honesty. If at all you don't know anything, you should be you should not hesitate to say that no, and be humble. We have to have the humanity, and this is about be humble. And use non-verbal communication effectively. You should use the non-verbal communication, that means postures, gestures and facial expressions, etc., correctly, by which the communication get effective. Direct speaking and assertively. Speaking directly with the Speaking directly with the receiver makes him understand easily while compared to the long distance. And next, avoid predetermined notions. We should avoid the predetermined notions, as we can't determine anything before knowing anything. So avoid predetermining notions. Next, feedback, it is necessary, and it it makes the organization to rectify the mistakes for the next time. And it should not have any advices. It should have only the feedback in it. Feedback is the most important thing. Feedback is the most important thing, and it helps in the development of the organization. By these steps, we can develop, we can have a communication effective. Once more, I repeat the side headings. Please remember them and know the meanings of them, and please elaborate in your examination. And the first is self-awareness. Second one is express yourself clearly. Third one is active listener. Fourth one is be positive. Fifth one is be honest. Sixth one is be humble. Seventh one is use non-verbal communication effectively. Eighth one is speak directly and assertively. And ninth one is avoid predetermined notions. And the final 10th one is feedback. These are the steps by which we can make the communication effective. Coming to next topic, it is perspective in communication, and it is a process of making sense out of an experience, as well as inputting of meaning to the experience. Our part experiences plays a vital role in the perspective in the communications. And let us discuss about the next topic, and it is visual perspection. It is a type of perspection. It is a process of using the vision to acquire the information about the surrounding environment. It is the ability to see and organize and interpret one's environment. Visual perception, it is of visibility or ability to see. If at all, the receiver is not having visual, then it it makes it trouble, and he can't understand what the sender is saying, and he can't understand his facial expressions. So it makes the communication ineffective, and it is a perspective of the communication. And next, coming to key component areas of visual perspective skills. The first one is visual discrimination. The differences in the seeing, each person's visuality is different from other, so the visual discrimination happens. And next, forming the consistency means the format used is different in this perspective. And next, figure ground. For example, figure ground to background differences. This is the differences in the perspective. And next, spatial relation, it is ability to recognize and positioning object in this space. This is spatial relation. And next, coming to visual closure, it is the ability to recognize object or letter or the number without seeing the entire object. Without seeing the entire object, they could recognize the object or the letter or the number. And next, visual sequencing. This is the ability by which we can see the object in particular sequential order. And next, visual memory. The ability to remember forms or letters and sequences or the forms of, and recognize them quickly when they are seen again. These are the key component areas of visual perspective skills. Let us repeat again the side headings: visual discrimination, form consistency or form discrimination, and next figure ground to background differentiation, and next spatial relation, next visual closure, next visual sequencing, and next visual memory. These are the key components. If at all it is asked in question, then elaborate it and write down. Next is language. We already discussed about how language is different, and in this the primary function of any language is to convey information or to express the emotion, but also used it to maintain the social relationship and to identify with a certain sections of the society. Human languages are two-sided. One is internal structure and external aspect. For example, the use of the languages is different and the meanings are also different. The language is different compared to the religions, and if at all if it is not understood, then it causes the misunderstanding of the sender. And if at all if we see here, a woman without her man is nothing. It sounds like a bad sound, but if at all we change the punctuation down, a woman without her man is nothing. The down one is like a good meaning, and up one if suddenly looks like a bad meaning. This is the example for the internal structure and external structure. And next, other factors affecting perception. Coming to the last topic in the first unit, it is other factors affecting perception, and the first one is past experiences, second one is prejudices, next consequences and prejudices, and next feelings and environment. Past experiences helps in managing, for example, if at all we are in the meeting, then our past experiences will help us. If at all in past we don't know and we are dumb and we are rejected, but now we have the experience about what to do and what not to do in the meeting, so the past experiences will help. Next, prejudice. We already learned it that we should not judge anything before we know. And next, consequences are the consequences which are caused by the prejudices. Next, feelings like anger, etc., happiness, etc., will change the will causes the meaning of the communication and the way of communication, so it may not be effective and can't be reached correctly. If at all if the message is transferred during the angry mood, then it can be reached perfectly. And the fifth one is environment. The environmental condition also is a factor which affects the perception. And the side headings once again we repeat. First one is past experiences, second one is prejudices, third one is consequences of prejudices, feelings and environment. Up to now we have completed our first unit successfully, and if you remember the side headings, you can write them perfectly and you should elaborate them and write the answers. This is our first unit, and next I am going to say about the fifth unit. Coming to our fifth unit, it is group discussion. And group discussion is a systematic and purposeful interactive oral process that is widely used to evaluate several candidates simultaneously. In this, a group of people join and discuss about a specific topic, and all evenly take some time and discuss and finally comes to a policy about that topic. So as for many people or a group discuss together to discuss about the any topic. And there are two types of group discussion. They are topic based group discussion and case based group discussion. The topic based group discussion are of four types. Topic based group discussion. The first one is current affairs. It is about the new reports which are held in this world. And next, factual topics. These are also same as current affairs and they are the most recent news. And next, controversial. It is about the politicians, etc. And abstract, and they are abstracted of different topics. That means the general topics such as talks about number 18, like that they are abstract topics. And next, second type of group discussion is case based group discussion. In this, the students together studies the case and together discusses and protect and will get trained to protect themselves from any cases by reading the case studies. These are the two types of group discussions. Next topic is communication skills in a group discussion. Communication skill is a tool to test how effectively an individual is able to participate in the group. It is a tool to test how the individual will participate in the group, and it is to test how well does the individual listen to the others. That by this we can know the listening power of the student. And next, they are helpful to check how open-minded the participants are towards accepting the criticism. And the examiner checks how does participant controls his emotion in case of any wrong comments. And communication skills help student to train himself to discuss and argue about the topic given. And next, it helps him to express his views on serious subject, and it also improves his thinking, listening and speaking skills, besides promoting his confidence level. And it is effective tool in problem solving, decision making and personality assessment. These are the communication skills in a group discussion. And now let's discuss about do's and don'ts in the group discussion. First, we discuss about what should we do in a group discussion. First of all, we should seat yourself comfortably discussing. And next, we should listen to the topic clearly, and we should organize our ideas before speaking. Speaking at the earliest opportunity, and we should be polite, and we should identify who are our opponents and supporters, and we should allow our supporters to give ideas and keep track of the time. We should maintain the time and share time fairly. We should not use it improperly. We should give time to everyone. And next, we should first of all listen to the other's point of view. And next, coming to don'ts in group discussion, what we shouldn't do in the group discussions are: we should not be in a hurry so that we can do mistakes, and we should not be silent, and we should raise our voice, and we should not dominate anyone vocally, and we should not assume the role of the chairman, and we should not take extreme stances, and we should not enter into the argument, and we should not pass value judgment, and we should not look at the faculty, and we should not shut down in inert participant, and we should not move excessively in our chair, or we should not lean on our back. These are the do's and don'ts in the group discussion. Hope you understand. And up to here, the 5th unit is, and according to the JNTH syllabus. But if at all if they ask, I am saying about the difference between the group discussion and the debate. Coming to the debate, it is also same as group discussion, but in the debate 2 groups are formed, but whereas in group discussion there is only one group. And in GD we can talk, a person can talk in the both views, either in positive view or in the negative view according his to wish. But if at all in debate, if at all we choose positive, then we should stay in positive. If at all we talk in negative, we should be in negative. But in the middle of the session we should not change our decision, then it is called as debate. This is the difference between group discussion and debate. And this is the end of the 5th unit. Now we have discussed our first unit and 5th unit successfully. First unit and 5th unit successfully. All the best for your exams and get well prepared for your exams, and these are useful, I think. Please comment me in the comment section whether these videos are useful. This video is useful, and next 2 chapters are going to be uploaded tomorrow. So stay tuned and well prepared for your exams. Only 4 units are required to get good marks. So now 2 units are completed. This 5th unit is very small, so I said it. First unit is very long and elongated. If you remember the side headings, you can elaborate it and write the answer perfectly. Communication skills is one of the important subjects to score the marks easily. Thank you for watching my video. Thank you.